Radha Gokulananda ki, Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri La Prabhupada ki. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashata Deshatarine Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Thank you Haribol Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki Shri Shri Gauranitai ki Shri La Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna. Thank you. The Aarti is not finished, so please can you now take your seats and we will be singing the Nrsimhadev prayers for our protection. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Paladaladaine Paladaladaine Hiranakashipu Vaksha Shilatan Kauna Kalaye Itona Singa Puratona Singa Jato Yato Jamitatona Singa Bahena Singa, Hridayena Singa, Bahena Singa, Hridayena, Narasimha Madim, Saranam Prabhade. Tava Karakam Labare. Sringam Dalita Hiranakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadrito Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Bolo Bolo Come on Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Jaya Narasimhadev Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jai Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radhe Radhe Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radhe Radhe Shin Singdev Bhuvan ki Prahlad Maharaj ki Shri Radha Gokulananda ki Ji. So now there's some prasadam waiting for I think it's in a Haveli, isn't it? There's going to be some prasadam for everyone in Haveli, including Mahaprasadam. You can stay here, chant Hare Krishna, pray, do whatever you want, or go for prasadam. Feel home. You can feel home.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnava Vangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanitang Tang Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Nitan Sham Bhajasi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Bhajasi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Bhajate Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Prabhu Hare Rama,
Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryan Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitam Astu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hare Krishna, welcome to the temple room, where we engage in focused hearing and chanting on the glories of Sri Krishna and His holy name. So, if we're here to do some hearing, yes, and chanting, great, so happy to have you all, because that's what we're planning to do. But if you have any need to hold conversation, then outside of the temple room would be a better place for it, okay? I'm just letting everybody know that now. So we're going to be reading from Krishna book. Yes? Maybe some of you have seen this. If you haven't, you can get a copy in reception. This is a wonderful book, full of the pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna. This is actually a condensation, or a summary almost, with extra, of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Purana. The Bhagavad Purana is also known as the Amala Purana, spotless Purana. It is purely transcendental. Everything about Srimad Bhagavatam is for the glorification of Krishna and His devotees. The 10th book of this Srimad Bhagavatam is especially sweet, because the 10th canto deals in particular with the pastimes of Lord Krishna. So we've been reading from this book almost every day since the start of the new year. And now we're up to chapter 23. And before we continue hearing, and our hearing means that we're also holding opportunity to discuss. Yes, so if anybody is, if their interest is piqued by anything particular that they hear, yes, or if they have any questions, then we're very happy to have a conversation about those topics, okay? But for the next hour, we're going to be hearing from this book, hearing from Srila Prabhupada, who wrote this book entitled Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Before we start reading, we're going to just chant a few prayers to supplicate the mercy of our Guru Varga, our spiritual masters, and the Supreme Lord Himself. Timurandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakara Mayam Darati Swaparantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Param Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Paraya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Dharmani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatareshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namah Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Svarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So let us begin hearing from Krishna book, chapter 23, which is entitled Delivering the Wives of the Brahmanas Who Performed Sacrifices. How many of you have heard this story before? Specifically this story of the wives of the Brahmanas who satisfied the request of Krishna and Balaram. Do you know this one? Have you heard this before? No? So this is going to be a very enlightening session, yeah, to hear this for the first time. So Krishna had just completed his Vasanaharana Leela, stealing the garments of the unmarried gopi girls, who were very anxious to have him as their husband. The morning passed, and the cowherd boys were very hungry because they had not eaten breakfast. They immediately approached Krishna and Balaram and said, "Dear Krishna and Balaram, you are both all-powerful. You can kill many, many demons. But today we are much afflicted with hunger, and this is disturbing us. Please arrange for something that will mitigate our hunger." So every day Lord Krishna would go out into the forest to tend the cows, and he would play in various ways with his friends. This is how he would spend his childhood. Yes, every day in games and sports with his friends in the cowherd pastures of Vrindavan. And of course, the cowherd boys, they all looked up to Krishna and Balaram. They knew that they were very powerful. They had already killed so many demons that had come into Vrindavan to disturb them. So the boys always depended on their lordships for all of their necessities and for fulfilling their desires, which were transcendental desires. They only knew Krishna and Balaram as their most lovable friends. So, requested in this way by their friends, Lord Krishna and Balaram arranged to show compassion to certain wives of Brahmanas who were performing sacrifices. These wives were great devotees of the Lord, and Krishna took this opportunity to bless them. He said, "My dear friends, please go to the house of the Brahmanas nearby. They are now engaged in performing the Vedic sacrifice known as Angirasa, for they desire elevation to the heavenly planets. All of you please go to them." Then Lord Krishna warned his friends, "These Brahmanas are not Vaishnavas." What does Vaishnava mean? Anyone knows? Vaishnava means devotee of Vishnu or Krishna. Yes? So anyone who is devoted to God, and specifically Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, is a Vaishnava. So Vaishnava means devotee of Krishna. In Vedic society, there is a class of persons called Brahmanas. How many of you know what a Brahmana is or have heard of the term Brahmana? Yes? Okay. So what does it mean to you, Brahmana? What does the word Brahmana mean? Yeah.
Like, the way I know, like, Brahmana is like who spread the good thoughts and thoughts of God in the society.
Who spreads good thoughts of God in society. Okay.
And like, many like educates about
Yes.
the God's work and God's
Right.
thoughts.
The Brahmana educates others about God as well.
Yeah.
Yes. So the Brahmana class are known as the priestly class or the intellectual class. Actually, specifically, it means they know Brahman. Right? Brahmana means one who knows Brahman. What is Brahman? Brahman is spirit, the supreme. So, one who is a Brahmana is supposed to know the difference between matter and spirit, and their lives are dedicated to the worship and the service of Brahman. Yeah, the truth. They're dedicated to the truth. And they like to distribute that truth and knowledge throughout society. So they're natural leaders of society. It is said that a society without qualified Brahmanas is like a headless society. A society with no intellectual leadership, no brain. This is very important. The body, if it is missing a limb, an arm or a leg, then the body is still, it can still exist, it can still live. But if you cut off the head, then, right, nothing is going to work. So a society without proper intellectual leadership is chaos. Yeah? Which is what we have now. Modern society. Right? It's chaotic. So many resources are wasted, right, in the attempt to create some form of utopia. But because there is a lack of knowledge, then nobody is satisfied. Constant change, seeking for a permanent, happy solution, which is never to be attained because there is a gross lack of knowledge. Okay, so Brahmanas should know what is the truth. They should know what is Brahman. And ultimately, Brahman means Parabrahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. I am Spirit Soul. I'm coming to you. I am Spirit Soul, yes? And you're Spirit Soul, and so are you, and so are you, and we're all Spirit Souls, we're all Brahman. And hey, guess what? This chair is also Brahman. So is this harmonium, this floor, this microphone, this dhoti, this wood, all of it's Brahman. Everything is Brahman. There's nothing that's not Brahman, because everything comes from Brahman. So how can everything that comes from Brahman be anything but Brahman? Everything is Brahman, spirit. But if we don't know where it comes from, then we think it's something else. That's the problem. Did you have a point or a question?
Yeah, so Brahman is someone who is part of Brahma, part of God.
Yes.
And he takes God's work, God's thoughts everywhere. So when he goes travels, it's called Brahman. So when he goes Brahman,
Yes.
so it's not limited to caste system.
Yes.
Whoever is doing God's work, whoever is spreading God's work, doesn't really matter which caste he's coming from, but he's taking Brahma's word into the world, making them aware of God, God's thinking, God's the awareness
Yeah.
of God's around
Yes.
is called Brahman.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Very good, yes. Well, anyone who is dedicating their life and their work to the truth, the ultimate truth, is Brahmana. Yes, one who knows Brahman, you can say is a Brahmana, loosely speaking. Brahmana actually has 6 duties. Yajna, yajna, patana, patana, dana, pratigraha. A Brahmana engages in sacrifice. In the Kali Yuga, which began 5,000 years ago, the only recommended sacrifice is Nama Sankirtana Yagya, the sacrifice of loudly chanting the holy names, specifically the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So a Brahmana should be engaging in that yajna of chanting Hare Krishna. A Brahmana will also engage others in sacrifice. He will also he will give opportunity to other people to chant Hare Krishna. He will also study the Vedic literature very nicely and teach that Vedic knowledge. Yes? That's patana patana. And then dana pratigraha. He will also accept charity, right, from other sections of society. He will receive charity, and he will spend that charity for Krishna's service. So one who performs these activities is a Brahmana, certainly. Then of course we have Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. So in an ideal society, and certainly in a traditional Vedic society, then these categories were systematized. It was very clear. Okay, this is what I do, this is what you do, that's what you do, because everyone is born with a particular kind of machine, a particular kind of disposition, and an attraction to a certain kind of work. Yeah, so Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita that these are the qualities of a Brahmana, these are the qualities of a Kshatriya, these are the qualities of a Vaishya, of a Shudra. So they're natural qualities, natural disposition to work. And they're everywhere. Some people are really moved, motivated, energized by the pursuit of truth and knowledge and distributing that. Some are really energized by the desire to give protection and justice. And if there's a crisis, they're the first to rush in. They want to be there. Yeah? Kshatriya, nature. Some are energized by the desire for sustainable, regenerative wealth. They can't live without thinking how to generate profit for the benefit of the society. Yes? And others are moved and energized by the desire to provide beauty and functionality for society. So these mentalities exist, but right now they're not organized. That is the problem. And then everything is topsy-turvy because someone who has one kind of disposition ends up performing the work of a person with another disposition. And then there's, again, dissatisfaction. Both for the individual performing the work and for those that receive the results of that work. So, one of the missions of our Krishna consciousness movement is to try to establish some semblance of social order, whereby everybody knows what they're meant to be doing and are able to do it, and thus everyone is peaceful, satisfied. In this regard, there is a nice book written by one of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, Mother Urmila, along with her co-author, Ruchira Datta. And that book is called Career Dharma. Career Dharma. It's a very interesting read. Anyway, Brahmana means one who knows what is Brahman, what is the truth, the absolute truth. But if one is a fully qualified Brahmana, then he should know that the ultimate truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So in the case of these Brahmanas that Krishna is talking about here, they were not Vaishnavas. So they may know something about the difference between matter and spirit, but they had no devotion, no bhakti for the Supreme Lord. So they may be very knowledgeable, they may be engaged in performance of Vedic sacrifices. They may have discriminatory power and know the difference between matter and spirit. They may know all of the Vedic rituals and formularies. They may be the great philosophers, yes? But they are not necessarily recognizing that Krishna is the supreme Brahman. Yeah? So then their Brahmana standing is not complete, not perfect. So Krishna and Balaram warned their friends, these Brahmanas are not Vaishnavas. They cannot even chant our names, Krishna and Balarama. They are very busy in chanting the Vedic hymns, although the purpose of Vedic knowledge is to find me. So the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Vedaishcha sarvaira ahameva vedyo, Vedantakrit veda vid evachaham. He says, by all the Vedas, I am to be known. That is the purpose of all Vedas. If one knows Krishna, or recognizes Krishna as the Supreme, then one has completed the purpose of Vedic study. But if one still does not know who the Supreme is, and that Krishna is the Supreme, then one's study of the Vedas is incomplete, imperfect. So the Lord says, because they are not attracted by the names of Krishna and Balaram, you had better not ask them for anything in my name. Better ask for some charity in the name of Balaram. Right? The Lord says these Brahmanas are very busy chanting Vedic hymns. Right? But despite that, they're not attracted to our names, Krishna and Balaram. So better not ask anything from them in my name. You can mention Balaram, however. Ask for some charity in the name of Balaram. So Srila Prabhupada explains, charity is generally given to high-class Brahmanas. But Krishna and Balaram did not appear in a Brahmana family. Balaram was known as the son of Vasudeva, a Kshatriya, right? King, administrative class. And Krishna was known in Vrindavan as the son of Nanda Maharaj, who was a Vaishya. Vaishya means economic generation for the benefit of society. So cow protection, agricultural produce, generating more and more, creating abundance for everybody's benefit. That is a real Vaishya. If one is simply interested in profit for hoarding, yes, and one is interested in industrial expansion for the exploitation of others just to increase one's bank balance, that is not a Vaishya, really. Maybe has the potential to become a Vaishya, right? Based upon their drive for sustainable regenerative profit, but not a Vaishya in the correct sense of the term. But Krishna's father was a real Vaishya, right? Caring for cows, yeah? And distributing that wealth for all other members of society, including the Brahmanas. Otherwise, what do you give in charity to the Brahmanas? The Vaishyas would give cows, milk products, so many articles produced by Mother Earth, precious jewels, metals. So the earth is sarva kama dugdi. She satisfies all desires. Everything that is necessary for happy living, the earth can supply, if we know how to gain it by proper performance of sacrifice in honor of the Supreme Lord. So Krishna was known as the son of Nanda Maharaj, a Vaishya. Neither Balaram nor Krishna belonged to the Brahmana community. That was not their family engagement. Right? Balaram's father was an administrative king, Vasudev. Krishna's foster father, Nanda Maharaj, was a Vaishya. Therefore, Krishna considered that the Brahmanas engaged in performing sacrifices might not be induced to give charity to a Kshatriya and Vaishya. He said, but at least if you utter the name of Balaram, they may prefer to give in charity to a Kshatriya rather than to me, because I am only a Vaishya. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the purpose of all Brahminical study is saying that I am only a Vaishya. He has nothing to do with any of these classes whatsoever. He's not a Brahmana, he's not a Kshatriya, not a Vaishya, not a Shudra, he's not any of these things. He says, Chaturvarnya Maya Shrishtam Gunakarma Vibhagasha Tasya Kartaram Apimam Vidya Kartaram Avyayam. That although I'm the creator of this system of 4 varnas and 4 ashramas, I have nothing to do with this. I don't have to perform any of the duties of any one of these types. I am the non-doer. But Krishna establishes this order in human society so that we might live harmoniously and that everybody might be engaged in proper activities, right? You need someone to point the way. You need someone to say, this is the meaning of life, right? And everything that we do should line up. You need someone to say, in order to do that, we're going to prevent you from being disturbed by upstarts who would simply steal and plunder and exploit. And we can't allow that. You want a happy society? No thieves, no rogues. So you need strong administrative class to make sure everybody is behaving, doing what they're supposed to. Strong arms. You need a productive class, otherwise what does anybody eat? If everybody's reading all day, who is out in the field taking care of the harvest? Who's milking the cows? You need a productive class so that we can all subsist. Yes? And to get things done in the physical world, to move things around and erect things and change things and also to provide functionality and also relief in the form of sensual, engagement, religious, sensual engagement, art, music, drama, architecture, dance, all kinds of arts and crafts, right? These are also important. So everybody has a role to fulfill. This is a harmonious society. So when Krishna comes, he takes the role, at least at this point of his life, he takes the role of a Vaishya. He's tending the cows. So he was saying that these particular Brahmanas, they may be more inclined to give charity to Balaram because they know that Balaram is Vasudev's son, the son of a Kshatriya. Being thus ordered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all the boys went to the Brahmanas and began to ask for some charity. They approached them with folded hands and fell down on the ground to offer respect. O earthly gods, kindly hear us, who are ordered by Lord Krishna and Balaram. We hope you know them both very well, and we wish you all good fortune. Krishna and Balaram are tending cows nearby, and we have accompanied them. We have come to ask for some food from you. You are all brahmanas and knowers of religious principles, and if you think that you should give us charity, then give us some food, and we shall all eat along with Krishna and Balaram. You are the most respectable brahmanas within the human society, and you are expected to know all the principles of religious procedure. Although the boys were village boys and were not expected to be learned in all the Vedic principles of religious ritual, they hinted that because of their association with Krishna and Balaram, they knew all those principles. By addressing the brahmanas as knowers of all religious principles, the boys expressed the point of view that when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna and Balaram, were asking for food, the brahmanas should immediately deliver some without hesitation, because, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, one should perform yajna, sacrifices, only for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Nate vidusvarta katimi Vishnu, durashayaye bahirarta manina. The purpose of life is to know Vishnu. One who does not know this becomes embroiled in so many false hopes, simply striving to enjoy in the material world by one means or another, because they do not know that the ultimate goal of life is Vishnu, or Krishna. And therefore, the purpose of performing any kind of sacrifice, austerity, charity, hard work, whatever, the purpose of all of it really should be for the pleasure of Vishnu, the Supreme. So the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Yagyarthat karmanon yatra lokoyam karma bandhana tarartam karma kauntaya mukta sangha samachara. The Lord says himself, work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu must be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this world. So we have really two broad options. I either work for the sake of the Supreme. If I do that, I become absolved of any involvement here. Or I work for that which is not supreme. Myself, my family members, whatever. I can work for everything and anything else, but if it's not Krishna's purpose, if it's not for the sake of the Supreme, it's for my purpose and the purpose of my extended self. And that kind of work causes bondage, karmic bondage. You do the work for your own purpose, you must receive the result for your own enjoyment. Yes? But the result is not just, laughing all the way to the bank. The result is also pain, payment, bills, paying the bill. Because so much is owed. You're living at the cost of others' energy. Who is supplying the light? The sunlight. The rainfall. If there's no rain, you don't eat. You can't live. Who's supplying the rain? All of the necessities to exist in this world, to get through your days, to eat, to have a roof over your head, to enjoy the company of those around you, right? So in so many ways we're indebted. We're indebted to our forefathers as well. Previous family members and what they have left us. We're indebted to the demigods for all of the facility they provide to us. In so many ways, we are existing by the mercy of others and their energy. So who pays the bill? Therefore, that's why sacrifice exists. So that one demonstrates gratitude. So that there's a reciprocation, an exchange between the provision of facility and the enjoyer of facility. Just to take a gross example, someone decides, well, I need a lot of money to enjoy. how can I get a lot of money? And there may be so many ways to get a lot of money. Of course, if it's not ordained, then you won't be able to make a lot of money. It's not that you just by working harder you'll make a lot of money. No. It's because you have performed some sacrifice or austerity in the past, therefore you deserve to receive a lot of money in the present. Yeah? The rickshaw walla in Calcutta is maybe working very hard. Or carrying so much load on his back, and not just the rickshaw walla, but if you go to an Indian city, right, especially, I've been in Calcutta many times, many people are working hard from morning to night. Yeah? And it's not that because of their extra hard work, they're making extra big bucks. Yeah? Someone else, somewhere else in the world, picks up the phone, yeah? Says, yeah, sell this, buy that. And then within 5 minutes, he has made $10,000. It's not a case of, I work harder, I get more. It's a case of, what machine have you been given and what is its destiny? What is due to your machine? What is your karma? What have you paid for already in advance? What fruits are you able to reap now? So, I'm just trying to pick up my train of thought. How did I get into that? Anybody remembers how we got there? Pardon? Oh yes. Yes. So the whole point of life, right, is to work for Vishnu. So if we don't know that we are part of Vishnu, part of Krishna, and that the meaning of life is to satisfy the Supreme Lord, then we will run around trying to enjoy, trying to gain in so many other ways. But we become implicated in that project. We become entangled in the reactions. Because if we work for ourselves, then there are certainly rewards which we have to receive, but there's also a cost. There's cost and reward. Cost and reward. So that's the karma from one life to the next. Cost and reward. We like the reward, but we don't want to pay the bill. And when the bill comes and we're served the bill, you have to pay this now. Yes? We're taking your house. Yeah? Or your house is burned down. Yeah? Or you now have 6 months to live, right? Or your child has this ailment. You have to manage that. These are all the bills. These are all the costs of our previous activities. We don't like that. But that's what it means to work on my own account. That's what it means to be here, trying to be an independent, whatever. Trying to be Mr. or Mrs. Independent. Trying to be the hero in my own story. That's what it means. The other option is to recognize that I'm not isolated. I'm not an independent island. I am connected to the whole. What is my relationship with the whole? If I consider how I can be integrated with the whole, then I can consider how I can solve all my problems, which basically amount to birth, old age, disease, and death. These are my real problems. As long as I'm working for myself, I have to accept these problems. And as soon as I begin to take up the work for Krishna, work for the sake of Vishnu, then I'm beginning to solve my problems. Then I become free, really free. Everyone's looking for freedom, but where's the freedom? We talk freedom, but how are you free? In so many ways we're bound. Right? What to speak of nature's law? We can't even drive on any side of the road we choose. And if you don't pay the thing by midnight tomorrow, you're going to get hit with an extra 100 quid or something, right? And well, where's the freedom? Right? You have until tomorrow evening, sir, to pay your airport entry fee, £6. If you forget and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I was busy with this and that. My mother was dying. You're right. My house burned down. I forgot to pay the £6. Please be kind." "Oh, we're sorry. We're not able to accommodate that within our procedure. I'm afraid you'll just have to pay the fine." Unless you know the law and know the law's loopholes, you don't get away with it. Yeah. And especially they take advantage of those who are afraid and weak. They cough up very readily. So where's the freedom? From every angle, you're being constrained. You're being imposed upon. You must do like this, you have to take care of that. Yeah? If you don't see to this, you'll suffer later. In so many ways, we're being forced to act in ways that we would not choose to if we had absolute freedom. Give me, I want freedom. Yes, please, give me the freedom to not grow old. I'll sign up for that. No old age, please. Can I just be young and strong and have whatever I like, whenever I like it, forever? I would sign up for that kind of freedom. Who has it? Where is it? Name me one footballing megastar who gets to prolong his career and have everybody, glorify him year after year after year. No, eventually he comes to the end of his rope. And everyone say, "Oh, he's not handling the end of his career very well. He's not handling the end of his career very graciously." Yeah? He has to sort of graciously admit that he is now incapable of running around for 90 minutes with all the other 22-year-olds. Because he's now 41. Now he has to think, how am I going to spend the rest of my life that I can't kick a ball? I'm going to have to do something else to make me happy. Because I'm not able to kick a ball anymore for lots of money. My body won't allow it. Where's the freedom? There's no freedom. From birth to death, you're forced to act in so many ways you don't want to. There's no freedom. Real freedom means to surrender to God. He'll give you freedom. He'll say, "Come with me. Let's get out of this place. I'll give you freedom. I'll give you a body that never perishes, never grows old. You won't have to die. You'll never get sick. You'll never have to say goodbye. You'll never have to watch the death of your parents or your kids or anybody else that you love. You'll have full knowledge. You'll be in complete knowledge about what is reality. And you'll be completely blissful as well. You'll actually be happy all the time. Right? That's freedom. So that's only possible with God, with Krishna. So although the boys were village boys and were not expected to be learned in all the Vedic principles of religious ritual, they hinted that because of their association with Krishna and Balaram, they knew all those principles. By addressing the Brahmanas as knowers of all religious principles, the boys expressed the point of view that when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna and Balaram, were asking for food, the Brahmanas should immediately deliver some without hesitation, because, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, one should perform yajna, sacrifices, only for the satisfaction of Vishnu. So these Brahmanas should know that what is the real purpose of sacrifice? It is to please God. So when God asks you for something, He said, give us some food. We're hungry. We're here in the forest with our friends. Everybody's hungry. Give us some food. So a real perfected Brahmana would know that, oh, here's an opportunity for me to please Krishna. Yes, take it. How much food do you want? Not these Brahmanas. Not these Brahmanas. The boys continued. Lord Vishnu, as Krishna and Balaram, is standing waiting, and you should immediately deliver whatever food you have in your stock. They also explained to the Brahmanas when food is to be accepted and when it is not to be accepted. Generally, the Vaishnavas or pure devotees of the Lord do not take part in ordinary sacrificial performances. But they know very well the ceremonials called Diksha, Pashu Samsta, and Sautramani. One is permitted to take food after the procedure of Diksha and before the animal sacrificial ceremony and the Sautramani, or ceremony in which liquors are also offered. So different ceremonials, yeah? And after these ceremonials, then, one is permitted to take food. The boys said, we can take your food at the present stage of your ceremony. For now, it will not be prohibited. So you can deliver us the food. So the boys knew as well that, yeah, there's no obstruction. Your ceremony does not obstruct you giving the food now, so hand it over. Although the companions of Lord Krishna and Balaram were simple cowherd boys, they were in a position to dictate even to the high-class Brahmanas engaged in the Vedic rituals of sacrifice. But the Smarta Brahmanas, who were simply sacrificial-minded, could not understand the dictation of the transcendental devotees of the Lord. Krishna's friends, simple cowherd boys, perfect, in the real sense of the word Brahmana, these boys are perfect. And they're dictating to the so-called Brahmanas, hand over the food, right? Krishna, we're all hungry here, We're giving you an opportunity. Take it, yeah? You want your Brahminical activities to be complete and perfect, and give us the food. And these Brahmanas are like, anyway, let's find out how they responded. Okay. They could not even appreciate the begging of the Supreme Lord, Krishna and Balaram. Although they heard all the arguments on behalf of Krishna and Balaram, they did not care for them. And they refused to speak to the boys, despite being highly elevated in the knowledge of Vedic sacrificial rites. All such non-devotee Brahmanas, although they think of themselves as very highly elevated, are ignorant, foolish persons. All their activities are childish because they do not know the purpose of the Vedas, as it is explained in the Bhagavad Gita, to understand Krishna. In spite of their advancement in Vedic knowledge and rituals, they do not understand Krishna. Therefore, their knowledge of the Vedas is useless. Lord Chaitanya, therefore, gave his valuable opinion that although a person may not be born in a Brahmana family, if he knows Krishna or the science of Krishna consciousness, he is more than a Brahmana, and he is quite fit to become a spiritual master. This is very important. So in order to avoid class or caste consciousness, yes, just on the basis of some birthright or some family that I happen to be born in, to avoid that false consciousness, upadi consciousness, one should understand that if one knows Krishna or the science of Krishna consciousness, then he is already more than a Brahmana. Yeah? One may have the working tendency of a Kshatriya, or a Vaishya, or a Shudra. It does not matter. One can perform one's work in any position for the benefit of the society. Yes? And if any such person knows Krishna, knows the science of Krishna consciousness, he's more than a Brahmana. and is quite fit to become a spiritual master. All right, this is the verdict of the Supreme Lord himself, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is over my left shoulder here in the center. This is Krishna, just in case anybody wasn't aware. I'm usually saying this every day because people come to the temple, they don't know who Lord Chaitanya is. Of course, we're going to be distributing a booklet at Gaur Purnim at the beginning of March, describing who is Lord Chaitanya and what is his importance. So Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself, and he says, it does not matter what one's social position is or what type of work one is engaged in. If one knows Krishna, knows the science of Krishna, then one is more than a Brahmana and is quite fit to become a spiritual master. So Srila Prabhupada said these particular Brahmanas who did not recognize that Krishna and Balaram were the ultimate goal of their own sacrifices, these Brahmanas actually were wasting their time. All of their knowledge of the Vedas was useless. There are various details to be observed in the performance of sacrifices. They are known as desha, place, kala, time, pratag dravya, the different detailed paraphernalia, mantra, hymns, tantra, scriptural evidences, agni, fire, ritvik, learned performers of sacrifices, devata, the demigods, yajamana, the performer of the sacrifices, kratu, the sacrifice itself, and dharma, the procedures. All these are for satisfying Krishna. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that he is the actual enjoyer of all sacrifices, because he is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the Supreme Absolute Truth, beyond the conception or speculation of the material senses. He is present just like an ordinary human boy. But for persons who identify themselves with the body, it is very difficult to understand him. The Brahmanas were very much interested in the comforts of the material body and in elevation to the higher planetary residences called Svarga Vasa. They were therefore completely unable to understand the position of Krishna. So let's look again here at the purpose or the motive of these particular Brahmanas. What were they all about? They were very much interested in the comforts of the material body and in elevation to the higher planetary residences called Svarga Vasa. So these Brahmanas, what was their purpose? They wanted to go to heaven. They wanted to go to heaven. Why do you want to go to heaven? Because I will be able to enjoy there. Right? Good food, good wine, plenty of dancing girls, right? So many concubines, yes? I will be able to enjoy in heaven. Right? Do we know any religions that have this goal? Right? This is materialistic religion. This is cheating religion, actually, because it attempts to circumvent the actual dharmic reality, which is that you, as a spirit soul, are eternally dependent upon the Supreme Spirit Soul, and he wants your love. You have an eternal relationship, and he has got everything, but he wants your love. And if you give it to him, you'll be happy, because your connection, your relationship is there are a few words, but I always struggle to find them. But that connection can never be taken away. That connection between you and the Supreme Soul is, it's indestructible, it's incontrovertible, it's eternal, it's natural. And He is the most dear thing. We say thing. He's the most dear person. What's dear to everybody? The thing that's dear to everybody is their self. Right? Myself is the most dear thing to me. Right? This body, if it's threatened, I want to protect it at all costs. The bodies of my children, right, which are extended parts of me, I want to protect at all cost. What is mine and what is me, that is the most dear. But as we heard earlier on in this book, Krishna is even more dear. When Krishna himself expanded as his own friends and calves, all the mothers of those boys and the mothers of those calves became even more affectionate toward the boys and the calves. Because Krishna is the most dear. Why? Because He is the self of myself. Myself does not exist without Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Self. If you could take away the Supreme Self, there is no little self. You are made of your Maker. So Krishna is most dear. God is the most dear. So, it's cheating religion because it does not give us actually what we need. What we need from religion is to meet God face to face and to enter into our loving relationship with Him. That is what we need from religion. If the religion is offering us a distraction, more of the same, in heaven, then it's cheating religion, Kaitava Dharma. And what is the result of that cheating religion? Well, you've seen the Ferris wheel at the fairground, or you've been to the London Eye. Okay? So you get in your little car, your little material body, and you circle up and around to the top. And you can see everything. You're at the top. What a great feeling, right? I've made it. Okay? But what goes around comes around. So you get to the top, and eventually you'll come back down to the bottom. This is called samsara, the wheel of being born and dying. So one goes to heaven, but you don't get to stay there to enjoy, indefinitely. It's like you've got enough money in the bank, you can buy your ticket to Barbados. You can book your 5-star hotel, you can have a tour, scuba diving, whatever. Yeah? But you can't stay there. You don't have enough money. You don't have enough money to settle in Barbados. You got to come back. So you may have enough credit to get to Svarga to enjoy, but you can't stay. You have to come back to earth with a thud. So in this way, it's a merry-go-round, simply a merry-go-round. So the religion that teaches us to go to heaven, the result of which is coming back down to earth with a thud, is simply cheating religion. Okay. So, this was the mentality of those brahmanas. They wanted to go to heaven. They wanted material comfort. When the boys saw that the brahmanas would not reply to them, even with a simple yes or no, they became very much disappointed. They then returned to Lord Krishna and Balaram and explained everything that had happened. After hearing their statements, the Supreme Personality of Godhead smiled. He told them that they should not be sorry for being refused by the Brahmanas, because that is the way of begging. He convinced them that one who is engaged in collecting or begging should not think that he will be successful everywhere. He may be unsuccessful in some places, but that should not be cause for disappointment. Right? Anyone who's done book distribution knows this very well. Most of the time you're unsuccessful. Most people don't want to know. Most people don't want to stop. But some who are fortunate, they stop and they're able to take a book. But one cannot be disappointed by all the people that refuse. If you're disappointed by every person that refuses, how can you go on? One has to take pleasure simply in the service itself, without being disturbed by the result. So, Lord Krishna then asked all the boys to go again, but this time to the wives of those brahmanas engaged in sacrifices. He also informed them that these wives were great devotees. They are always absorbed in thinking of us. Go there and ask for some food in my name and the name of Balaram, and I am sure that they will deliver you as much food as you desire. So the Brahmanas did not cooperate. They wouldn't even hear the request of the boys. And so Krishna advised them this time to approach the wives of those Brahmanas. Just before I continue, and we'll have Bhagavad Gita class, by the way, in about 7 or 8 minutes. Does anyone have any questions or reflection on what we've been speaking about so far? Anything you have? It's okay if you don't, I'm just giving you the opportunity. Okay. Carrying out Krishna's order, the boys immediately went to the wives of the Brahmanas. They found the wives sitting inside the Brahmana's house. They were very beautifully decorated with ornaments. After offering them all respectful obeisances, the boys said, "Dear mothers, please accept our humble obeisances and hear our statement. May we inform you that Lord Krishna and Balaram are nearby. They have come here with the cows, and you may know also that we have come here under their instructions. All of us are very hungry, therefore we have come to you for some food. Please give us something to eat for Krishna, Balaram, and ourselves." Immediately upon hearing this, the wives of the Brahmanas became anxious for Krishna and Balaram. These reactions were spontaneous. They did not have to be convinced of the importance of Krishna and Balaram. Immediately, upon hearing their names, they became very eager to see them. Being advanced by thinking of Krishna constantly, they were performing the greatest form of mystic meditation. All the wives then became very busily engaged in filling up different pots with nice food. Due to the performance of the sacrifice, the various foods were all very palatable. After collecting a feast, they prepared to go to Krishna, their most lovable object, their most beloved object, exactly in the way rivers flow to the sea. So, the wives of the Brahmanas were naturally devoted to Krishna. So immediately they made preparations to satisfy the Lord's desire. For a long time, the wives had been eager to see Krishna. However, when they were preparing to leave home to go see him, their husbands, fathers, sons, and relatives asked them not to go. But the wives did not comply. When a devotee is called by the attraction of Krishna, he does not care for bodily ties. The woman entered the forest of Vrindavan on the bank of the Yamuna, which was verdant with vegetation and newly grown vines and flowers. Within that forest they saw Krishna and Balaram engaged in tending the cows along with their very affectionate boy friends. The Brahmana's wife saw Krishna with a blackish complexion, wearing a garment that glittered like gold. So we're going to have Bhagavad Gita class in about 5 minutes, and we need to set up. We have to put the asana just in front of me to my left right here. So I very much recommend that you sit facing my direction. Yes? And move a little further back towards that wall. Not completely at the wall, because between 6 o'clock and 7, people will want to come in. They will want to simply go to the deities to have darshan, and to avoid them cutting in between the speaker and the audience, I'm going to put a rope barrier just along that wall. So therefore, please don't sit right against the wall, because I'll only have to ask you to move later. The Brahmana's wife saw Krishna with a blackish complexion, wearing a garment that glittered like gold. He wore a nice garland of forest flowers and a peacock feather on his head. He was also painted with the minerals found in Vrindavan, and he looked exactly like a dancing actor on a theatrical stage. They saw him resting one hand on the shoulder of his friend, and in his other hand he was holding a lotus flower. His ears were decorated with lilies. He wore marks of tilaka, and he was smiling charmingly. With their very eyes, the wives of the Brahmanas saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead, of whom they had heard so much, who was so dear to them, and in whom their minds were always absorbed. Now they saw him eye to eye and face to face, and Krishna entered within their hearts through their eyes. Within themselves, they began to embrace Krishna to their heart's content, and the distress of separation was mitigated immediately. They were just like great sages who, by their advancement of knowledge, merge into the existence of the Supreme. As the Supersoul living in everyone's heart, Lord Krishna could understand their minds. They had come to him despite all the protests of their relatives, fathers, husbands and brothers, and despite all the duties of household affairs. They came just to see him who was their life and soul. They were exactly following Krishna's instruction in the Bhagavad Gita. One should surrender to him, giving up all varieties of occupational and religious duties. He therefore began to speak to them, smiling very magnificently. It should be noted in this connection that when Krishna entered into the wives' hearts, and when they embraced him and felt the transcendental bliss of being merged with him, the Supreme Lord Krishna did not lose his identity, nor did the individual wives lose theirs. The individuality of both the Lord and the wives remained, yet they felt oneness in existence. When a lover submits to his lover without any pinch of personal consideration, that is called oneness. Lord Chaitanya has taught us this feeling of oneness in his Shikshashtaka. Krishna may act freely, doing whatever he likes, but the devotee should always be in oneness or in agreement with his desires. Right. That oneness was exhibited by the wives of the Brahmanas in their love for Krishna. This is real oneness. Yeah, if someone wants to tell you that you can become one with God, yes, what they really mean, even if they don't know it, what they really mean is that you should become so agreeable to Krishna, to his satisfaction, that the Lord is completely free to act. I mean, he's free to act already. But if we are completely in agreement with how Krishna chooses to act, then we are one with him. We do not become him. He does not dissolve. We do not dissolve into him. That is not possible. Whoever speaks like that is an illusion. They're fools. Real oneness means to love Krishna and to be fine and to be in agreement with whatever he chooses because you love him. That is real oneness. That is actual oneness. And that oneness was exhibited by the wives of the Brahmanas in their love for Krishna.
Hare Krishna. A very warm welcome to you all to this evening's Bhagavad Gita class. Before we get started with the discussion, we'll sing a song which is glorifying Lord Krishna. And this song was sung by Srila Prabhupada before every class, so we'll also follow the same tradition. So if you know the song, you can repeat after me, or if you are able to follow, then you can try to repeat. So we'll do it in call and response fashion. I'll do the calling and you can do the responding. All right. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Yamunatiravanachari, Yamunatiravanachari, Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Shri Radha Gokulanand ki, Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. So, we'll be discussing from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5. I'll just recite the Sanskrit of the shloka and then we'll go through the translation and the commentary by Srila Prabhupada, and then we can get into some discussion. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sannyasa Karma Yogascha Nishreyasa Karavubhau Tayostu Karma Sannyasat Karma Yogo Vishishyate. The translation goes like this. The personality of Godhead, Krishna, replied, the renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation. But out of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. Purport. Fruitive activities seeking sense gratification are cause for material bondage. As long as one is engaged in activities aimed at improving the standard of bodily comfort, one is sure to transmigrate to different types of bodies, thereby continuing material bondage perpetually. Srimad Bhagavatam confirms this as follows. Nunam brahmattaha kurute vikarma yad indriya pritaya apranoti na sadhu manye yata atmanoyam asannapi klesha dasa dehaha parabhavastavad jato yavan jigyasat atma tattvam yavat kriyastavad idam manovai karmadnakam yena sharira bandhaha evam manah karma vasham prayunkte avidyayadmanya upadhiyamane Pritirna yavan mai vasudeve namuchyate deha yogena tavat. People are mad after sense gratification, and they do not know that this present body, which is full of miseries, is a result of one's fruitive activities in the past. Although this body is temporary, it is always giving one trouble in many ways. Therefore, to act for sense gratification is not good. One is considered to be a failure in life as long as he makes no inquiry about his real identity. As long as he does not know his real identity, he has to work for fruitive results for sense gratification. And as long as one is engrossed in the consciousness of sense gratification, one has to transmigrate from one body to another. Although the mind may be engrossed in fruitive activities and influenced by ignorance, one must develop a love for devotional service to Vasudeva. Only then can one have the opportunity to get out of the bondage of material existence. Therefore, jnana, or knowledge that one is not this material body but spirit soul, is not sufficient for liberation. One has to act in the status of spirit soul. Otherwise, there is no escape from material bondage. Action in Krishna consciousness is not, however, action on the fruitive platform. Activities performed in full knowledge strengthen one's advancement in real knowledge. Without Krishna consciousness, mere renunciation of fruitive activities does not actually purify the heart of a conditioned soul. As long as the heart is not purified, one has to work on the fruitive platform. But action in Krishna consciousness automatically helps one escape the result of fruitive action, so that one need not descend to the material platform. Therefore, action in Krishna consciousness is always superior to renunciation, which always entails a risk of falling. Renunciation without Krishna consciousness is incomplete, as is confirmed by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Prapanchikataya buddhya hari sambandhi vastunaha mumukshubhi parityago vairagyam falgu kathyate. When persons eager to achieve liberation renounce things related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, thinking them to be material, their renunciation is called incomplete. Renunciation is complete when it is in the knowledge that everything in existence belongs to the Lord, and that no one should claim proprietorship over anything. One should understand that factually nothing belongs to anyone. Then where is the question of renunciation? One who knows that everything is Krishna's property is always situated in renunciation. Since everything belongs to Krishna, everything should be employed in the service of Krishna. This perfect form of action in Krishna consciousness is far better than any amount of artificial renunciation by a sannyasi of the Mayavadi school. So what we'll do right now is we'll chant some invocation prayers for some auspiciousness. We'll offer our pranams, our respects to the saintly personalities from whom we have got this knowledge. And after that, we'll get into a discussion. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtham Shapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavancha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tham Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitansha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namoshate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnavaraya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Deshatarane. Hare Krishna. So a very warm welcome to you all to this evening's Bhagavad Gita class. So right now we are talking about chapter 5. In the first verse, Arjuna, he had put forward a question. Hare Krishna. We had seen that Arjuna had put forward a question in front of Krishna, that Krishna, I am still confused. What is better, to dutifully engage in my work or to renounce the work in order to become detached from material entanglement? The first 4 chapters have been spoken already, but still Arjuna is in a dilemma. And the exact question which was asked by Arjun, and that 2 terms were used by Arjun. One was karma sannyas and the second one is yoga. So Krishna, in his reply, he is making these terms very unambiguous. So the terms which Krishna uses, they are also unambiguous, and Krishna's message That is also unambiguous. So what are these two terms? Karma sannyas and karma yoga. Karma sannyas means renouncing all activity. Somebody, he is engaged in some work, he or she is engaged in some profession, some livelihood, but that person, what he or she does is, they give it up. Why? For spiritual advancement, for going deep into spiritual life. That can be one motivation for taking to renounced life. So that is what has been talked about here. And the other path which has been talked about is karma yoga. Karma yoga means the person is engaged in their regular activities. The person might be doing a job, they might be having a business. How many of you are having a job here? Okay, and how many of you have a business? Okay, wonderful. So we have all varieties here. So karma yoga means those who are working professionals. But what do? They offer the fruits or results of that profession, of that work to Krishna. If somebody is getting a salary, they offer a portion of that salary to Krishna. That's how the salary gets purified. Just like bhoga. When we cook something, let's say somebody has cooked a bucket of rice. How does that rice get purified? We offer a portion of that rice. Correct? We take a bowl of rice, offer it to Krishna, and that's how the whole bucket gets purified. So that is how somebody's, in a similar fashion, somebody's profession or their fruits of that profession, the result or salary of that profession can also be purified by offering a small portion. Therefore, it is encouraged that we should make donations, we should contribute some resources in some form or the other for this preaching movement, for the service of Krishna, because that not only helps the society, that helps the individual as well. So that is karma yoga. How is karma yoga different from bhakti yoga? Anyone? What's the difference between karma yoga and bhakti yoga? Sorry, louder please.
Karma is the duties for material.
Okay, and bhakti yoga is?
Bhakti is connecting to Krishna.
Yes, very wonderful. So, in karma yoga, the person is doing that thing which they are supposed to do to keep their body and the soul together. How many of us are interested to keep our body and soul together? How many of us don't want to die right now? I hope everyone, So, because we have to maintain this body, we have to live in this world, we have to do some karma. So when I offer the fruits of that karma to Krishna, that becomes karma yoga. So basically I am doing what I am wanting to do. I am doing my type of work, but I am making it spiritualized. So the work is not spiritual, the work was material, but it was spiritualized by offering to Krishna. On the other hand is bhakti yoga. The bhakti yoga is not spiritualized work, it is spiritual work. Why it is spiritual? Because it is that work which Krishna is asking me to do. I am not doing it because I want to do it, I am doing it because it pleases Krishna, it is a desire of Krishna. What kind of activities fall under this category? Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyadi mam namaskaru, like that. Worshipping Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna, reading Bhagavatam, reading Bhagavad Gita. All these things come under bhakti yoga. If somebody is studying, can simply by studying, can they go back home, back to Godhead? Can they go back to spiritual world? No. Along with that work, even if they spiritualize that study, they have to take up some core bhakti yoga activities, then only they can go back to Godhead. Right? Otherwise, going to the kingdom of Krishna, that is not possible. So this is the difference. So here, the discussion is between karma yoga and karma sannyas. So, and Krishna is saying, surprisingly, somebody might think that renunciation of work would be the answer of Krishna. Krishna would say, oh, you give up everything and come to me, dedicate all your 24 hours, Hare Krishna. If you can dedicate all your 24 hours to me, that will be slightly better. But surprisingly, Krishna is saying that karma yoga is better. The term which Krishna is using to dedicate the betterment of work is vishishyate. Vishishyate has been used by Krishna in 3rd chapter also. 3rd chapter, a similar comparison was made, but the renunciant which was talked about there was a pseudo-renunciant. Krishna is saying, a karma yogi who is restraining the senses and offering the results in Krishna consciousness, that guy is better than a pseudo-renunciant. Why? Because a pseudo-renunciant is that person who is externally renouncing everything, but internally making plans for enjoyment. Externally, he's wearing saffron clothes, but internally meditating, oh, when can I enjoy in this fashion? When can I do this? When can I get an opportunity to eat something nice, to see something nice, to drink something nice, right? So that is bogus. That is stupidity. So that is very clear. But here, Krishna is saying both are good. Because the renunciation is not show bottle renunciation, because the renunciant is not making a show of detachment, so the renunciation is also good. So the question is that both are shreyas, both are long term, both are going to benefit the individual in long term. There are two types of activities. One is called shreyas, the other is called preyas. Preyas means short-term benefit, and shreyas means long-term benefit. Short-term benefit, some examples of short-term benefit. I see something nice, I go and watch Netflix. What happens? There's enjoyment? Yes or no? Yes, there is. But the duration of that enjoyment is very short-lived. Sorry, that enjoyment is short-lived. The duration of that enjoyment is very small. Similarly, if I watch India versus Pakistan cricket match, is it fun? Yes, it is fun. India victorious? Yes. Means it was the best day of my life. But yes, my dear sir, that enjoyment was only for a day. That's why it was prayers, you know. So this is another example. Then I eat something nice. It was pleasurable. It was a source of happiness. But what was the duration of that happiness? A few minutes or max a few hours, right? So again, it is also prayers. I engage in sex life. Is it pleasing? Yes, it might be pleasing. But how long? How long can we enjoy like that? So therefore, that is also prayers. So that is one type of work, prayers. The other type is shreyas. Shreyas means long-term benefit. So what all activities fall under this category? Srimad Bhagavatam says, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Pada Sevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. When we do Shravana about Krishna, when we hear about Krishna, that is one form of prayers, because that activity can free us from the bondage of material world. 2:3:17 Bhagavatam. Ayurharati vaipumsam udyanashtan chayanna so tasyarte yachhanonita uttama shloka vartaya. Bhagavatam is saying that those people who engage in hearing Krishna Katha, who engage in hearing either the words of Krishna or the activities of Krishna. Right now what we are doing is, we are hearing the words of Krishna. Bhagavad Gita is words of Krishna, right? And in the morning, similarly, we have a class on Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is activities of Krishna. So when we hear about Krishna, that is liberating. Bhagavatam is saying, one who does this activity time and again on a regular basis, that guy gets freed from the cycle of birth and death. So that is Shravanam. Then Kirtanam, chanting the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Before this class we had a short kirtan. So that kirtan did not benefit us only for 5 or 10 minutes. That investment of 5-10 minutes got added to our eternal spiritual bank account, you know. So like this, similarly, when we offer worship to Krishna, when we offer a candle to Krishna, when we offer a lamp to Krishna, when we read about Krishna, so all these things, they are eternally beneficial for a living entity. So they are shreyas. So Krishna is saying both the activities the activity of renouncing the world, renouncing our profession, and the activity of staying in our profession and offering the results. Both are Shreya, both are long-term good. Okay, to explain this, long-term good means that they are good to free us from the entanglement of this world. Right now in this world, each one of us is having some material attachment. Somebody is attached to their phone, somebody is attached to their partner, somebody is attached to their profession, somebody is attached to their house, somebody is attached to their bank balance. So all of us might be having different attachments, right? So because of this attachment, we are bound in this world. Till the time we don't give up this attachment, we cannot be freed. So the point of this world is to purify ourselves and to go outside, right? The point of this world is to point beyond this world, right? So why we are here? So that we can purify ourselves and escape the clutches of the material bondage. So Krishna is saying, whether you keep on doing what you are doing and offer the results, that's one activity. And the second activity is you give up. You give up your profession, join the temple, stay in the ashram, and 24/7 engage in bhakti. Both are good. Both are very wonderful. But out of the two, Krishna is saying that staying in your profession and offering the results is better. Surprising, no? Why? Any thoughts, any ideas? Why did Krishna say like this?
Because it's so attached to your work and their bubbles.
Yes, very wonderful. That many or most of the people, they will not have the qualification to take to Krishna consciousness, to take to the path of bhakti 24/7, to be fully engaged spiritually throughout the day. It requires some serious spiritual depth, right? Here in the audience, there are some participants of Be Among Challenge people. So you are here for 7 days, right? Yes. Just imagine if you have to do this for the whole life, then you might have some second thoughts about it. Okay, so yes, so this is basically, when Krishna is talking about karma sannyas, it means be among challenge, but be among challenge for life, not for 7 days. So that might be slightly difficult, and that might not be possible for everyone. It is not impossible. Krishna is not saying that is something which cannot be done, but it is tough. So therefore, just for the sake of safeness, for the sake of taking to a path which will surely lead us to victory in our fight against Maya, it's better to take to Karma Yoga. Because Karma Yoga involves more of external activity, right? And sannyas, Karma sannyas involves more of internal activity, right? And for someone to indulge in internal activity, that means that the person needs some serious spiritual depth. The person needs to have some serious control over the mind, some serious control over their senses. If somebody immaturely renounces the world, then what will happen? They'll struggle with their thoughts. All the time, they'll be struggling internally. They'll hanker for engagement. Bhai, somebody please give me something, some activity to do. It is said that our thoughts determine our actions determine our habits determine our character, and our character determine our destiny. So if somebody is struggling with their thoughts, what will happen? One day or the other, either today or tomorrow, they'll end up messing up in terms of actions. They'll end up committing wrong actions. And when there'll be wrong actions, repeated wrong actions, that will lead to bad habits. And bad habits are really tough to give up. Bad habits, it is said bad habits are like a comfortable bed, easy to get into, but tough to get out of. So bad habits can lead to a poor character, and poor character can end up in a not so nice destiny. So, therefore, Krishna is saying that renunciants, they know how to deal with the mind, and because not many or most of the people know how to deal with the mind, it's better to take to karma yoga. Krishna is not discouraging karma sannyas, by the way, just to make it clear. If somebody thinks that they want to give it a try, or they are courageous enough to take to this path, definitely they should be given a try. If we think that we can control our mind, renunciants are, it's not that renunciants, they are vacant inside, it's not that they have a void space inside. No, renunciants also have an active mind. The renunciants know that I can't replace the mind, but I can replace it. Right? So they know how to place the mind at the right place in the service of Krishna. It is said that sometimes, many or most of the time, people think that purity, pure consciousness, or a life of sannyas means that our consciousness has no activity. No, our consciousness is active, our mind is full of content. It's just that the content is spiritual, it's just that the content is purified. Pure consciousness is not contentless. Pure consciousness is contaminationless. It is free from contamination. So, yes. So, the two types of Shri Shri Radha Gokulanand ki, Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gonatai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So, yes, these two categories of people. One works in the external world, the other category works in the internal world. The karma yogis, they work on a job and make a living. The karma sannyasis, they work on themselves and make a fortune. And both are good, both are virtuous, both are spiritual. Both can be spiritual and both can be material also, depending on what kind of activities the individual is engaged in. So, yes, and if somebody tries to take to the path of karma sannyas and fails, if he is not able to succeed, then what we should do? We should make fun of that person, right? Yes, no? No. Even if that person comes here for a short period of time, just because that he has made an attempt, that is a glorious idea. How many people on this planet even think about giving up activity and taking to spiritual life full time? Very few. Very few people even think about it. And amongst those also who think about it, very few actually execute it. We should try this sometime. Try signing the resignation letter. Hands will start shaking. When I was doing it, I know what was happening inside and what was happening outside. Internally, there was turmoil. Externally, my hands were shaking, So, not easy. So, yes. So, if somebody is coming and is not able to succeed, they are going back to the path of karma yoga, we should not make fun of them. We should remember that Krishna is not a thankless God. Krishna is a very grateful master. Krishna is a very glorious master. So he'll not see that this guy failed. He will see that this guy succeeded for this much amount of time. So if Krishna has that mindset, then who are we to criticize? So yes, that was mostly it from me. Any thoughts, comments, questions? Any question 1? Any question 2? Yes. Yeah. So, Yeah. So controlling the mind is difficult, but maximum growth happens in difficult activities only. In things that are easy, their growth doesn't happen. Their boredom resides, There not much activities there. For example, when I was preparing for my IIT entrance exam, you know about IIT? IIT is a college in India. So I was preparing for the entrance exam. So my mathematics was good and my physics was not so good. So 3 subjects are there: maths, chemistry and physics. My math and chemistry were good. Physics was something which needed some work. So I enjoyed maths and chemistry. But if I have to enter into IIT, I need to make my physics strong as well, right? Just because it's tough does not mean that I can avoid it. Just because my maths is strong doesn't mean that I keep on doing maths, If I spend 5 minutes in a mathematics problem and I solved it, and if I spent 1 hour in a physics problem and I'm not able to solve it, which time was fruitful? Somebody who's stupid, he'll say 5 minutes was fruitful because the problem was solved, and 1 hour was not fruitful because it was not solved. No, it's the other way around. 5 minutes was a waste of time because I already knew the solution. That 1 hour was successful because I struggled. I spent some good amount of time. That led to something constructive, right? So just because controlling the mind is tough doesn't mean that it should not be done. Actually, if you see, all the books, all the scriptures, the Shastras, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita has 700 shlokas. Bhagavatam has 18,000 shlokas. All of those shlokas, all of that knowledge, wisdom is for those who are struggling against mind. Why? If somebody has controlled the mind, they don't need all this. They are already above all this. They have realized all the knowledge. That's how they are on the platform of controlling the mind. So all this knowledge is for us. And sometimes people can be put off if their mind disturbs them, if they are struggling against the mind. But I become very enthusiastic. I become very happy when I see that my mind is misbehaving. Why? Because it keeps me humble. It keeps me active. It keeps me in the student mode. It helps me from false ego, false pride. It helps me from the mindset that I am a perfect human being, So it keeps the learning going. It keeps me enthusiastic to pick up the book and learn more. So yes. So if we find that sometimes people, they are like, oh, I was bothered by lust. Oh no, this is a very unfortunate situation. So when I am bothered by lust, most of the times I become happy. Oh, this is a very good opportunity to go to Radha Gokulananda, come downstairs and pray in front of Krishna. See, Krishna, this is my situation. I need your help. Please don't leave me, So like this. Some thoughts. Any other thing? Any other question 1? Any other question 2? Any other question 2.5? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande. In 15 minutes we'll be having Aarti here. Please stay with us. Thank you so much.
So we have just under 15 minutes before Arti. And the purpose of this center, this temple, is to give everyone an opportunity to hear something about Krishna, Krishna's philosophy, Krishna's holy name. And therefore, we're always taking advantage of this opportunity. So earlier we were reading from Krishna book, the wonderful pastimes of the Lord and how Srila Prabhupada explains them and gives us insight into who Krishna is. We're doing that practically every day from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. But right now I'm going to read from this book. It's called Beyond Birth and Death. And we happen to be on chapter 4. Which is called The Sky Beyond the Universe. If you see this portrait behind you, just opposite me, on that wall, there's something very interesting being depicted here. In the pink lotus whorl, that is representing the eternal pastimes of Radha and Krishna. That is the spiritual sky. And surrounding that whorl, you'll see many golden planets. They're all floating. In the Paravyoma, the eternal spiritual sky, each one of those planets is called Vaikuntha Loka. Vaikuntha means there is no anxiety there. In that spiritual sky, which is beyond this material world, there is no anxiety. In the bottom right corner, there's a darker, bluer circle that represents the material creation. In that material creation, there are innumerable universes. These universes emanate from the skin, the pores of the skin of Lord Mahavishnu, Karanadakashayi Vishnu. They are generated from his skin pores in a seed form. And they expand with his exhalation as he breathes out. And as he breathes in, the universes fold back into his body. And when he again desires to create all of these universes, he breathes out. So this material universe is called Jagat. It is going on. Creation and destruction. Coming into being and passing out of being. Again and again, in flux. But beyond this material cloud is the Paravyoma, the spiritual sky. And there are innumerable spiritual planets where there is no anxiety. So why is there no anxiety there? Can anybody guess? Why? Should there be no anxiety there when in this world everybody is full of anxiety? Why is there no anxiety there? This is my question.
Because there's less expectation.
There's Krishna there? There are less expectations, okay? But in that spiritual place, is there any suffering? In that spiritual sky? It's true, to some extent, that a measure of suffering, hopefully, will help one to question one's suffering. Of course, it's not always true. And we've all suffered so much, and right now, on planet Earth, so many people are suffering. But very few of them are inquiring about the problems of life and how to solve them. Yes? Because it requires sufficient intelligence, sumetasa, And it also requires the mercy of Krishna's devotees. Only by mercy does bhakti arise. Therefore Krishna sends, and He comes Himself to give us some start, some impetus in devotion. And He also sends His sons, His servants, His pure devotees to preach His message. So by their grace, we become woken up. We get a little bit of an ignition. Yeah? And with their help, we begin to question. Who am I? Why am I suffering? Atata Brahma Jigyasa, the Vedanta Sutra begins with this question. What is the absolute truth? Now is the time to inquire. Now that you have a human body, it's the time to inquire. In the animal species, so much suffering is going on, but they're not inquiring about the problems of life and the purpose of life. But one who is graced with some good intelligence and the mercy of a devotee, they may begin seeking for God. Yeah? Brahmanda bhumite hoila, Krishna jamajara. Can't remember that verse. Wandering from universe to universe, from species to species, planet to planet, up to down, place to place. If one is fortunate, one receives Bhakti Lata Bija. Brahmanda Brahmite hoila, Krishna jamajara. No. Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bij. If one is fortunate, one gets a seed of bhakti, seed of devotion. Otherwise, so much suffering is there. But without the seed, without contact with a devotee, one may not, even if one questions, one will not have any way of finding out. So by good fortune, by Krishna's grace actually, one comes in touch with a devotee. And then receiving that information, like the information we're hearing in this book, we put that together with our own situation, and feeling that I'm suffering, then we begin to seek the path out, the path into that Vaikuntha Loka, where there's no anxiety. But why is there no anxiety? Krishna's there, for sure, but Krishna's everywhere here. Krishna, everything is part of Krishna's energy, and as the super soul, Krishna has entered into everything. So Krishna is also here, but why are we in anxiety here? And why is there no anxiety in the spiritual world? What was it you said again? At the back? Yeah.
There's less expectations, so there's less suffering.
Okay. In the material world, everybody's expecting their own enjoyment, their own prosperity. But in the spiritual world, that's not a consideration because everyone there is concerned with Krishna's enjoyment, Krishna's satisfaction. So here is the place where we struggle for personal achievements, personal enjoyment. And that is a struggle. Why is it a struggle? Because we're working with dead matter. It does not cooperate. We have to move it. And it's not so easily moved. We don't so easily fulfill all of our different plans and desires. It requires a lot of labor, trouble. But in the spiritual world, there is no dead matter. Everything there is conscious. And there is no exploitative mentality. In the spiritual world, they're not trying to exploit their environment. Not trying to lord it over resources or people. Whereas here, everyone is trying to be top dog. King of the castle, top of the pile. But that consciousness does not exist there. Rather, what exists there is Krishna consciousness. Desire for serving the center. If I serve the center, I am automatically pleased because I am connected to the center. The hand feeds the stomach, and the energy is distributed back to the hand. So by the act of serving the center, the hand is nourished. So in Krishna consciousness, one has no problem because one is serving the center, and the center maintains all. Right? But there's another reason why there's no anxiety in the spiritual world, why it's called Vaikuntha. Well, maybe we can understand that by looking at this world and why it is Kunta. Why is it full of anxiety? Do you know why we're full of anxiety here? Why are we always in anxiety in this place? So many expectations, okay. And are we able to fulfill our expectations easily? No. Some people might be to, more degree. If they have a lot of resource or influence, someone who is wealthy or influential might be able to fulfill more of their desires more quickly, maybe. That's also not guaranteed. Yeah? Because they have to surmount very stringent principles and laws. If their father is on his deathbed, then the rich man, he may be able to employ a very expert physician, bring so many expensive equipments and medicines, but still, no guarantee. And he cannot stop old age. He cannot stop the death of his father. So what resources have we got to meet our own preference, our own expectations? Very limited resources. So the reality is that we are living in a place which is called Asat. The spiritual world is Sat, it is eternal. Yeah? There is no threat to existence. But in this world, which is Asat, what does Asat mean? What does Asat mean? Pardon? Untruthful? Okay, good, yeah. Something else? Not real? Well, it's real. It's temporary. It's real but temporary. This is real. How can it not be real? It's Krishna's energy. Krishna is real. Krishna's energy is also real. This is all real. But it's temporary. Asat means that which will not exist. This will not exist. This microphone won't exist. This body will not exist. That's if we, could revisit this room in a certain number of years, all of the people sitting in it now will not exist in this bodily form. Right? So we're in anxiety because everything that we're attached to will not exist, and we don't want to lose it. We're afraid of losing it. And we're always hankering for something that we wish to have. Yes? You wanted to say something?
It's like a meal, it's real, but it doesn't go on eaten.
Yes. Absolutely. Once the meal is eaten, it's eaten, okay? You can't have your cake and eat it. It's either or. But even if you have it, how long can you preserve it, right? Unless it comes from a factory that injects it with, a number of preservatives. Still, it's not going to last too long. Okay, so we're living in an atmosphere which is purely asat, that which will not exist. And that is why we're in anxiety. So Srila Prabhupada writes here, if we are at all interested in reaching that supreme abode, that eternal abode where there's no anxiety, because everything is eternal, there's no threat to my existence, no threat to that which is dear to me. If we are at all interested in reaching that supreme abode, the process as indicated here is bhakti. Bhaktya means devotional service, submission to the Supreme Lord. The root word for bhaktya is bhaj, which means service. The definition of bhakti given in the Narada Pancharatra is freedom from designation. If one is determined to get out of all the designations that are attached to the pure spirit soul and which arise due to the body and are always changed when the body is changed, then one can attain to bhakti. Right? If we're determined to understand who I am beyond this body and its different names, then I can be a candidate for bhakti, devotion to Krishna. Okay, so we're going to have arti now. Please everybody stand up.
Kiva Jayo Jayo Gaura Chandir Arati Kusobha Jaya Kiva Jayo Gaura Chandir Arati Kusobha Jayo Jayo Gaura Chandir Jana Vitatavane Jagamana Lova Dakhine Nitai Chan Bame Gadadhara Dakhine Tai Chan Bame Gadadhara Nikate Advaita Srini Vasa Chatradhara Basi Ache Gora Chan Ratna Simhasane Gora Chan Ratna Simhasane Basi Ache Gora Chan Ratna Simhasane Arati Kare Na Brahma Adi Devagane Narahari Adi Kare Chamara Julai आदि करी चामरा डुलाया नरा हरि संजय मुकुंद वासु गोसादि गाया शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताल शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताल मधुरा मृदंग बाजे परम रसाला मधुरा मृदंग बाजे परम रसाला शंख बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे 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 मधुर 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 बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौरा हरि बोल बहु कोटि चंद्राजिनी वदना उजाला बहु कोटि चंद्राजिनी वदना उजाला चंद्राजिनी वदना उजाला कला देशे वनमाला करे jalamala Shiva Sukana Radha Premi Gada Gada Shiva Sukana Radha Premi Gada Gada Shiva Bhakati Vinoda Dekhe Gaura Sampada Gaurangera Arati Kushova Jagajana Manalova Gaurangera Arati Kushova Jagajana Manalova Gaurangera Arati Kushova Jagajana Manalova Jaga Jana Manalova Jaga Jana Manalova Kiva Jayo Jayo Gaura Chande Arati Kushova Jana Vitata Vane Jagamana Lova Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda, Radhe Radhe. Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda, Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री लहरीदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Now we have Narasingha Pranam. It is on the screen, so please chant with us.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for attending today's Gaurarti. And we'll be having Kirtan now till 9:30, up till 9:30, and the Darshan will again open at 9 o'clock, so please stay with us. And there'll be some prasadam served outside the reception if you'd like to take some. Hare Krishna.
I am meant to be saying to guests, making sure they know something they're comfortable. So I just need to do that.
Make sure they can hear the CDs.
How was it? Hare. How do I play that one? Krishna Ishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Bracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Asyatyadeshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Krishna, Krishna